The fate of bans on same-sex marriage across the country rests in the hands of 9 Supreme Court justices. Today, for 2.5 hours, attorneys argued for and against same-sex marriage. And at the center of it all is a realtor from Cincinnati. Anjanette Levy breaks down today's arguments.
You're at war with your conscience.
Supporters of bans on same-sex marriage gathered outside of the Supreme Court, along with those hoping the High Court will strike down those bans.
I'm excited and still hoping that it sinks in that I'm actually here, because it hasn't quite yet happened.
The cases from Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, and Tennessee were consolidated under Jim Obergefell's case, Obergefell v. Hodges. The over-the-Rhine man sued to have his name listed on his husband's death certificate. The 9 justices fired tough questions at the attorneys.
This definition has been with us for millennia, and it's very difficult for the court to say, oh, well, we know better.
The justices will decide whether bans on same-sex marriage violate the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. They'll also consider whether states with bans have to recognize marriages performed in states where it is legal.
The right to marriage is, I think, embedded in our constitutional law. It is a fundamental right.
Charles Tassel of Citizens for Community Values felt reassured after hearing the arguments.
It was interesting. The judges actually looked at the issue and said, why are we back here 2 years later on an issue that we've already said this belongs to the states? In Windsor, which was the DOMA case, they actually said this belongs to the states and should be in the states' hands.
But supporters of same-sex marriage aren't so sure. They remain hopeful the court will rule on their side.
I deserve to have my husband's death certificate recognize me as his surviving spouse.
There were other same-sex couples from our area in Washington, D.C. today. They sued to have both parents' names listed on their children's birth certificates. The court will rule before the session ends in June. Rob?
And Jeanette, thanks very much. And as soon as the court rules, we will have it for you. To listen to today's arguments, log on to local12.com. Click on the red Get It button.